Right, so scholars around the world agree that before Adam, there were people who existed in this universe. In a biblical context, the book of Genesis 4 verse 16 to 17 reads, "And Cain went out of the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of the Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch." Yes, the book of Enoch was taken out from the Bible. So there are some other Bibles that don't have the book of Enoch. We don't know the reasons why the word of God was edited. Right, so remember that according to the Bible, Adam and Cain, Eve and Abel were the first 4 people on earth. And Cain killed his brother Abel, and after the killing drama, Cain went to the land of Nod to the east, where he took for himself a wife. This begs the question that where the hell did Cain's wife came from? This is where now we extract the evidence that humanity existed even long before the oldest man mentioned in the Bible, called Adam, was made. So, if humanity existed before Adam, which race existed amongst the races that we have right now before Adam? And the so-called Adam in the Bible belonged to which race? We can't say that before Adam it was like it is right now, mixed races. No. One race existed first, then evolution took place, till that now we have divided people into races. But mathematics is the greatest thing in life, because if you can be more mathematically inclined, you will be able to solve any problem that is present in this world. So another piece of evidence of the presence of humanity on earth is given to us when anthropologists desired to discover the origins of man. This led them to the exotic jungles of Africa, where fossils dating back millions of years were found. We can take, for example, the little warm heart of Africa, Malawi, where a jawbone was discovered at the Uraha Hills. This jawbone was discovered at Uraha Hills in the year of 1991. And in that year, this jawbone was the oldest known fossil of a human being in the world. The exact age of the discovered jawbone was unknown, but it is estimated to be around 2.3 to 2.5 million years old. These are millions of years to show that there was someone who lived in Malawi whose jawbone was found at Uraha Hills. That was in 1991. So another example can be made of the oldest country in Africa. Yes, the oldest country in Africa and perhaps in the whole world. This is Ethiopia, where the greatest anthropological find was made to the date. This fossil named Denkenish, which means you are marvelous, is today loosely known as Lucy, after the Beatles song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which dates back to 3.5 million years old, signifying the black race to be even older than that of the Caucasian characters from the Bible. That only dates back approximately 6,000 years. Yes, because if we read the Bible and understand it, we can see that it has got the timeline of 6,000 years. So we are talking of things here. We are talking about people who lived millions of years, discovered by our anthropologists. Remember, these are white people trying to find out the origin of humanity, evidence to show that they are a new people on this planet Earth. You can see that in the use of their language. The language like to discover, it's a baby language. Discovery, it's a baby language because you only discover what somebody has already put that thing at that particular place. So when you are a Johnny-come-lately person, you come and discover what others have already covered. So these people, when they came to this world, they started discovering the syllabus that we, the original people, covered already. And this led them to nowhere but right here in Africa. Yes, the mother of all civilization. This proves to the world that humanity started in Africa, and the first people to inhabit the habitable places of this universe were Africans, and it's millions of years ago, because these examples that has been mentioned here, trust me, they were having parents. And 3.5 million years, that's the oldest fossil, called Lucy, in Ethiopia, known as Denkenish, which means you are marvelous. And this is marvelous indeed. So it should make mathematical sense, as numbers do not lie, that it would seem we have a new man on our planet, and it is from this program that this new man will be revealed. Right, so others may be asking now that the Bible is telling us about 6,000 years, like everything in creation is 6,000 years, and here anthropologists made findings of millions of years ago. Then one would wonder, what time is it right now? There is a verse or a chapter or a surah in the holy book of Quran. This is Surah 103, and I want to quote the Quran. Yes, the African teacher is quoting the Quran today. Surah in the holy book of Quran, Surah 103, which reads, "In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, by the time sure a man is in a loss, except those who believe and do good, and enjoin one another in truth, and enjoin one another to patience." So in this Quranic chapter, God has used time to be the yardstick of measurement of action to be taken. God tells us that our actions must be in accordance with time, and that if our actions are not in accordance with time, sure a man will be at a loss, as he is right now, which assumes that man does not know the effects of his actions, therefore does not know what time is it at the present. Yes, so for us to know what time is it now, you have to get involved in the process of getting yourself out of the box that you were put into by those and that which oppress you. Yes, we are talking about our natural enemy here. Those who limit knowledge taught to us by terroring and misinterpreting the teachings of God to suit and merit their needs. Therefore, in this context, we are not dealing with time as in the solar system, but the beginning of the civilization or the beginning of a new people. So this new people on the original man's planet and its civilization began as it is written in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, 6,000 years ago. Remember, black people have lived millions of years. So this can only be true or hold water if we are speaking of the Caucasian and not the original black man, as his timeline backdates to 3.5 million years ago to date. So scientists of this world agreed to what was once said by Elijah Muhammad, one of the great black leaders who ever lived on this face of the earth. He said that before Adam there were people who were called aboriginal people. So sometimes they were also known as pre-Adamites, who were the darker people of the earth. This bears witness that anything other than that of a darker hue or black is new to the planet Earth. So the Bible was introduced to us in a language that we could not at that particular time speak nor understand. The Bible was written not in one original language, but 3 different languages, mainly it's Hebrew, Common Greek, and Aramaic. We as slaves of that time, we had to rely on the faithful translation of our young masters, whose language was not our own, and due to this fact, a great many meaning was and is lost and misunderstood. So we have 2 factors, and these are symbolic language of the Bible and English language, which is the Queen's language. These 2 are factors that are working towards the degree of our ignorance and level of knowledge. So there is a great need for us to re-educate ourselves in languages, especially English, because this is the language which we were given to use internationally, and also the language that is today used to trick and manipulate the original man. So the first book of the Bible is called Genesis, which means the beginning. And in the word Genesis, if you can take a very close look at the word Genesis, that's where we get the word gene. And what is a gene? A gene is a genetic coding, or the nature in which living things are created. Genesis, as it means the beginning, and also in this word Genesis, that's why we are getting the word gene. And what is a gene? A gene is a genetic coding, or the nature in which living things are created. And since everything has a beginning, everything has a genesis. And it is not a coincidence for the Bible to begin with the book of Genesis. There must be a reason why the first book of the Bible is called Genesis, and where you will notice that it does not tell us when the beginning was. This is so because in the life cycle of all living things, the genesis or the beginning stage is a continuous process of the cycle, which is still happening up to this very point in time. That is why it is called reproduction. So the book of Genesis introduces the new man who was made when God said in the same book, Genesis 1 verse 26, and I quote, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image, and the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Yes, so in this verse God says, let us make man. The question can be, who was God talking to, or who is the us mentioned in the verse when Moses was writing about God saying, let us make man? Who is the us mentioned in this verse? I know some of you will say that he was with his angels, but if the Bible tells us that beware of whom you entertain, for you might entertain angels without knowing, then this verse can also be the evidence to believe that angels are in human form. And if God was talking to angels who are human beings, then who and where are those human beings today? So the word us refers to a group of people. If we check in the dictionary, in one place, one spirit and one mind. So who is this us spoken of when God was about to make man? The us that God referred to were pre-Adamites, who are the aboriginal people or the darker people of the world. So if us means a group of people in one place, one spirit and one mind, and God being the common mind, spirit and place within them, it's easy for us to conclude to say the aboriginal people, also known as the pre-Adamites, who are the darker people of this earth, are responsible for the creation of this new man, whom they made in their image and likeness, gave him dominion to rule over the fish of the sea, the birds in the air, livestock, and over all the creatures that crawls upon the earth. Adam and all his generations after him were created by the pre-Adamites. Yes, so a smarter person will say, African teacher, are you contradicting yourself? You just said that God created Adam, and then now you're telling us that these original people, the pre-Adamites, made this new man called Adam. Well, without being smart in any other way, but if the church tells you that God is the Spirit, I will then add on to that statement to say God is the Spirit working in man. And if the word us, according to English language, refers to a group of people in one place, one spirit, and one mind, then you are the manifestation of God, if you will. Adam is the atom. I want you to underline the words there. Adam, atom. Yes, an atom is the basic unit of a substance. So Adam is the first atom of the white race. Yes, meet me again next time. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, we humbly ask you to click on the subscribe button, like our videos, and follow us.